Dogs can't talk, but their needs are loud and clear. If you know where to look, and the things you rarely do, they're the ones your dog feels the most. Let's reveal them. Number 1. The forgotten touch zones. Now, there's a physical equivalent to this that almost nobody knows about. Most owners pet the same 3 spots over and over: head, back, belly. Meanwhile, canine massage therapists keep seeing an identical pattern in every single dog they treat. There are zones in your dog's body carrying chronic tension that you've never touched once. Between their toes, knots of stress build up daily. Dogs instinctively spread their toes when they're anxious, and this creates micro-tears in the connective tissue. 30 seconds of gentle massage there sends sensation through nerve pathways we've only recently mapped. But there's an even better spot. Right where your dog's front legs connect to their chest, there's a zone they physically cannot reach themselves. Behavioral studies from UC Davis tracked dogs who received daily chest massages for 8 weeks. These dogs didn't just feel better. They started carrying themselves differently in public. More confident, more relaxed. The researchers couldn't believe how visible the change was. Number 2. The silent bond that speaks louder than words. The 10-second ritual that changes everything. You talk to your dog constantly. Commands, praise, maybe even full conversations. But military researchers discovered something bizarre while studying deployment dogs. Certain handlers had dogs with 40% less stress hormones than others. These weren't the handlers who trained more or gave more treats. The only difference? They practiced silent eye contact throughout the day. Just 10 to 15 seconds of soft, wordless attention. No commands, no talking, just presence. Your dog's amygdala, that ancient fear center deep in their brain, actually calms down during this exchange. But here's the trick. Staring threatens them. This has to be gentle acknowledgement, and within seconds, their system floods with oxytocin, the same chemical mothers release when nursing their babies. Most owners never do this because it feels awkward or unproductive. But your dog's brain is literally waiting for these moments. Number the power of real choice. Dogs living in human homes make approximately 0 real choices per day. Think about it. You decide when they eat, where they sleep, when they go outside. European researchers studying working dogs stumbled onto something unexpected. Some handlers were inconsistent, and occasionally their dogs would ignore a command. The handler would just shrug and move on. This sounds terrible, right? Like bad training. But these imperfectly trained dogs outperformed the perfectly obedient ones in problem-solving tests. And they showed stronger bonds with their handlers. Once a day, offer something optional. Hold out the leash. If your dog doesn't come immediately, put it away. For 5 minutes. No disappointment, no frustration, no reaction. Some days, they'll refuse just to test if the choice is real. And that's exactly what you want. Their brain creates entirely new neural pathways when they realize they have genuine agency. This isn't about losing control. It's about giving them one tiny moment of autonomy in a life where everything is decided for them. Number 4. The pressure point for instant calm. There's a specific spot on your dog's body that acts like a biological reset button, and it's been used in traditional Chinese veterinary medicine for thousands of years. Right at the top of your dog's head, directly between their ears, there's an acupressure point called GV20. Applying gentle, circular pressure here for 30 seconds activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Western veterinary science finally caught up and confirmed this works. Brain imaging shows that stimulating this point decreases activity in the amygdala, while increasing activity in the prefrontal cortex. In plain English, it literally shifts your dog from reactive emotion to thoughtful calm. This technique is particularly effective during moments of overstimulation. Your dog is too excited about visitors, too anxious about car rides, too reactive on walks. 30 seconds of gentle pressure on this spot, and you'll see their entire body language change. Their breathing slows. Their muscles soften. Their eyes lose that hard, focused intensity. Emergency veterinarians now teach this to owners of anxious dogs because it works when nothing else does. And unlike calming supplements or medications, there are zero side effects. It's just gentle pressure on a spot your fingers can easily find. Number 5. The dangerous comfort of routine. But there's a hidden danger in routine that almost no one talks about. Dogs thrive on consistency, yet their wild ancestors encountered randomness daily. Prey appeared at different times, weather shifted, pack dynamics changed constantly. Modern pets live in such rigid schedules that their adaptability has completely atrophied. Veterinary behaviorists now recommend structured variation. Change one tiny thing about a routine activity each day. Feed dinner 3 minutes early. Take a different route for the last 30 seconds of your walk. Use a different bowl. Keep 95% consistent, while that 5% variation prevents rigidity. MRI studies show this activates the same brain regions as environmental enrichment in zoo animals. Dogs practicing structured variation handle real disruptions, like moving homes, with far less distress. The key is making variations small enough to feel safe but noticeable enough to require adaptation. Your dog's brain stays flexible instead of becoming brittle and anxious. Number 6. The 2-minute brain builder. While we're talking about their brain, there's a 2-minute game that does something remarkable. Your dog's brain doesn't stop working when you're busy. It just idles in a kind of screensaver mode while you're cooking or checking your phone. But this simple activity lights up more brain regions than an hour-long walk, and most owners have never even tried it. Take one piece of their regular kibble. Not a treat, their usual food. This matters because regular food activates the brain's seeking system differently than high-reward treats. Hide it somewhere unusual. Behind a chair leg, under a pillow, just barely out of sight. Let them find it. The Family Dog Project in Budapest studied dogs who played daily food hiding games, and those dogs retained cognitive function nearly 3 years longer than dogs who didn't. This tiny game grows the brain, specifically the hippocampus, which controls both emotional regulation and spatial memory. New neural connections form when dogs have to navigate, sniff, and remember. The challenge matters, though. Start easy, but gradually increase difficulty. You're not just entertaining your dog, you're actively preventing cognitive decline as they age. Number 7, the energy matching secret. Now here's something that feels completely backwards but works incredibly well. You come home exhausted and your dog's bouncing off the walls. Every instinct tells you to calm them down immediately. But ethologists studying free-ranging dogs, the most genetically natural dogs on Earth, noticed something we've completely forgotten. Before one dog tries to change another's energy, they match it first. When your dog is hyped up, you meet them at their level for just 20 seconds. Jump, greet, engage fully. Then slowly guide them toward calm. That moment of synchronizing does something inside their brain. It strengthens the anterior cingulate cortex, a region responsible for emotional flexibility. Dogs whose humans match before redirecting show 50% less reactivity to sudden changes. They learn that emotions aren't dangerous and that transitions are safe. It works both ways, too. If your dog is resting and you want to engage them, don't jolt them with sudden energy. Start where they are, then build up together. This one technique alone can transform your entire relationship. Number 8. The purpose every dog craves. And speaking of purpose, there's something search and rescue dogs have that your pet desperately lacks. These working dogs show lower baseline cortisol than pet dogs despite facing constant challenges. This has nothing to do with activity level. Working dogs have a sense of being necessary. Your dog doesn't need to save lives, but they need to feel essential to your daily routine. Pick one household task they own completely. Carrying mail from the door to the kitchen. Checking each room before bed. Bringing you something specific every morning. One border collie learned to put shoes by the door each morning and started waking up with visible anticipation. Brain scans reveal increased gray matter in regions associated with satisfaction and self-concept. Dogs detect fake enthusiasm through chemical signals we don't even know we're releasing, so the job must be something you genuinely value. When your dog has purpose, everything about them changes. Their posture, their confidence, even how they sleep. Number 9. The consent revolution. Now here's something uncomfortable most owners need to hear. We assume dogs always want affection, but shelter research revealed that even affection-seeking dogs only want touch about 60% of the times we offer it. The rest is pure politeness, slowly building invisible stress. Try this tonight. Pet your dog for 3 seconds, then stop completely. Remove your hand entirely. If they nudge, lean, or paw for more within 2 seconds, continue. If they don't actively request more, they were just being polite. Dogs have touch budgets, just like humans have social energy. When you only pet them upon active request, the trust explosion becomes visible within days. Threshold anxiety decreases. Previously distant dogs become Velcro dogs once they realize all touch is consensual. They start communicating more clearly in every area of life, because they finally trust you to listen. This single change can fix behavioral issues you've been struggling with for years. Number 10. The morning ritual that sets their day. There's a 15-second window every morning that determines your dog's entire emotional state for the next 12 hours, and most owners completely miss it. The moment your dog wakes up, their cortisol levels are naturally elevated. It's a biological holdover from wild ancestors who needed immediate alertness to survive. But here's what researchers at the Animal Behavior Institute discovered. Dogs whose owners acknowledge them calmly within the first 30 seconds of waking show drastically different hormone patterns than dogs who are ignored or greeted with high energy. The key is gentle presence without demands. No commands. No excitement. Just soft eye contact and a calm touch. This simple acknowledgement tells their nervous system that the world is safe. Their cortisol stabilizes instead of spiking, and that chemical stability cascades through their entire day. Dogs who receive this morning ritual show 35% less reactivity to triggers like doorbells, other dogs, or sudden noises. It's not magic, it's neuroscience. You're literally programming their nervous system for regulation instead of hypervigilance. And the best part? It takes less time than checking your phone. Number 11. The scent story you're ignoring. Your dog experiences the world primarily through scent, yet most owners never let them actually read their environment. Think about how frustrating it would be if someone rushed you through a library, yanking you away every time you tried to read a sentence. That's exactly what happens on most walks. Canine cognition researchers at Duke University studied dogs allowed to sniff freely versus dogs kept on strict walking schedules. The free-sniffing dog showed significantly higher problem-solving abilities and lower anxiety markers. But here's the shocking part. Just 3 minutes of dedicated sniffing time provided more mental enrichment than 30 minutes of leashed walking. Your dog isn't just smelling fire hydrants. They're reading complex chemical stories about every animal and human who passed by. When they urinate, they're not just relieving themselves. They're leaving their own chapter in that story. When you interrupt this constantly, you're essentially preventing them from engaging with their primary sense. Once a day, find a safe spot and give them 5 uninterrupted minutes to sniff whatever they want. No pulling, no redirecting. Just let them read their world. The mental satisfaction this provides is measurable in their brain chemistry. Number 12, the temperature connection. Dogs regulate emotions through physical temperature in ways most owners never consider. When a dog is stressed or anxious, their extremities get cold. Their ears, paws, and nose lose heat as blood rushes to their core. But this works in reverse too, and it's something therapy dog handlers have known for decades. Gently warming your dog's ears between your palms for just 60 seconds triggers a parasympathetic response. Their heart rate slows. Their breathing deepens. The vagus nerve, which controls the relaxation response, gets activated through this simple touch. Veterinary studies show this technique works faster than verbal reassurance during stressful events like thunderstorms or fireworks. But you don't have to wait for anxiety to use it. Making this part of your daily routine teaches your dog's body what safety feels like on a cellular level. Their nervous system learns to default to calm instead of alert. And unlike medication or extensive training, this costs nothing and works immediately. The warmth of your hands becomes a physical signal that everything is okay. Number 13. The play pattern that builds confidence. Most owners think play is just about fun and energy release, but animal behaviorists have identified a specific type of play that actually rebuilds confidence in fearful or anxious dogs. It's called variable reward play, and it works like this. During a game of fetch or tug, randomly let your dog win more often than you win. Not every time, that makes it boring, but about 70% of the time. When dogs win most interactions, their brain releases dopamine in a pattern that strengthens their sense of capability. This is particularly powerful for rescue dogs or dogs with anxiety. A study from the University of Bristol tracked fearful dogs who engaged in win-heavy play for just 10 minutes daily. Within 3 weeks, these dogs showed measurably different behavior around new people and environments. They approached novel objects faster. They recovered from startling sounds quicker. The researchers believe this happens because winning activates the same neural pathways as successfully overcoming real challenges. Your dog's brain can't tell the difference between winning a game and conquering an actual fear. So every time you let them win that tug toy, you're literally building neural architecture for confidence. This isn't about losing control or creating a dominant dog. It's about giving their brain evidence that they're capable and effective. Number 14. The question that changes everything. Most training focuses on teaching dogs to respond to our cues, but there's a revolutionary approach that flips this completely. What if you learned to respond to your dog's cues instead? Dogs communicate constantly through subtle body language, but most owners miss 90% of these signals because they're watching for big, obvious behaviors. A dog who yawns isn't tired. They're signaling stress or trying to diffuse tension. A dog who turns their head away isn't being stubborn. They're saying they need space. A dog who lifts one paw isn't just stretching. They're uncertain and seeking reassurance. Researchers at the Family Dog Project trained owners to simply acknowledge these signals. Not fix them. Not redirect them. Just acknowledge them. A simple, "I see you," when their dog yawned. A step back when their dog turned away. The results were stunning. Within 2 weeks, the dogs started communicating more clearly and more frequently. They developed new signals because they learned their human was actually listening. And here's where it gets really interesting. These dogs showed dramatically less separation anxiety, less leash reactivity, and less resource guarding. Why? Because they felt heard. When a dog knows their communication works, they don't need to escalate to problem behaviors. They trust that subtle signals will be noticed and respected. This single shift in perspective, from training your dog to listening to your dog, transforms the entire relationship. You're not the boss anymore. You're a team. Number 15. The evening decompression. After a full day of navigating human rules, expectations, and environments, your dog needs something that almost no owner provides. Decompression time. Not sleep, not rest. Actual mental decompression where they process everything that happened. Animal cognition experts studying working dogs discovered that dogs denied decompression time showed cumulative stress that built over weeks and months. Even in low-stress homes, the daily accumulation of navigating human expectations takes a toll. Here's what decompression looks like. 15 minutes before bed, dim the lights and eliminate stimulation. No TV, no conversation, no interaction. Give your dog access to a quiet space with something to chew or lick. A frozen Kong, a bully stick, or even just a safe chew toy. The repetitive action of chewing or licking activates the parasympathetic nervous system and allows their brain to process the day. Think of it like how humans need to zone out scrolling their phone or staring at the wall. Now here's the thing. Your dog can't tell you what they need in words, but their behavior speaks volumes. If you've noticed anxiety, restlessness, or distance in your relationship, it's probably not a training problem. It's a communication gap. Start with just one of these rituals today. Pick the one that resonated most with you. Try it for 7 days and watch what changes. And if you found this helpful, there are more science-backed secrets your dog wishes you knew. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss them. Your dog's counting on you to bridge that gap. Which ritual are you starting with today? Drop it in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. After work. Your dog needs the same thing, but they need you to create the conditions for it. Dogs who get daily decompression time sleep more deeply, wake more calmly, and show significantly less reactivity the next day. Their stress doesn't compound over time. This one simple routine prevents burnout in a species that's constantly working to understand and please us. And the beautiful part? While they decompress, so do you. Those 15 minutes of quiet become a reset for both of you before sleep.